Thank you very much, Program Director. The Chairperson of the Peace and Security Council, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Equatorial Guinea, members of the Peace and Security Council, representatives of the governments of Sudan, South Sudan, and Mali, His Excellency, the former President of South Africa, President Mbeki, and His Excellency, former President of Burundi, Pierre Buyoyo, distinguished members and special envoys and representatives of the United Nations and other partners, representatives of member states to the African Union, ladies and gentlemen, first allow me to express my gratitude and thanks to the Chairperson of the Peace and Security Council for the warm congratulations and best wishes. Thank you very much, my brother. I'm pleased to welcome you all to Addis for this ministerial meeting of the Peace and Security Council. Over the years, the Peace and Security Council has demonstrated a great deal of dynamism in dealing with some of the most intractable African conflicts. Its decisions have far-reaching impact in the resolution of the conflict and are eagerly awaited both within and outside the continent. Many here in Africa and further afield look forward to the outcomes of their deliberations, and especially the deliberations today. This meeting is taking place against the background of a mixed peace and security landscape on our continent. We could point to the remarkable achievements made in Somalia and between Sudan and South Sudan, as well as the continued consolidation of peace in many number of countries that have emerged from conflict. At the same time, we are faced with complex and worrying developments in northern Mali and the Sahel, as well as Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, in Guinea-Bissau, and of course the still continued problems in Darfur. The situation highlights the need for renewed and robust efforts within the framework of the African Union and the regional economic communities in our collective pursuit of peace and security. It is important that we must succeed in addressing the many challenges that are facing us, because our people cannot wait too long for development. And we know that without peace, there could be no development. But also, if there is no peace, there will be no development. But if there is no development, eventually there will be no peace. So these two are two sides of the same coin, and we must deal with them equally. On my part, as I assume the responsibility of leading the work of the Commission, I would like to assure you of my total commitment and that of all my colleagues to spare no effort towards the achievement of our goal of resolving the conflicts on our continent, building on the achievements made and lessons learned from our past experiences. I would like to thank all the ministers and heads of delegation who have attended this peace and security meeting, and this demonstrates the commitment of our respective countries to promoting peace and security and stability. Also allow me to thank in particular the ministers from Sudan, South Sudan, and from Mali. We appreciate their commitment and their resolve to establish peace in their countries, especially Sudan and South Sudan, their quest to live in peace with themselves, but also in peace with the world. And as you know, we were in Bamako last week, and I have every reason to believe that the conclusions that were reached by the support and follow-up group on the situation in Mali and the Sahel will help to expedite the resolution of the overlapping crisis facing Mali. Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished representatives, two issues feature on the agenda of this ministerial meeting. First, there is the situation between Sudan and South Sudan. This is a matter that the Council has been seized with for many years, from the days of the negotiations for the CPA, resolving the conflict in Darfur, to the process leading to the birth of the new Sudan. In so doing, Africa and the AU were driven by a profound sense of solidarity with Sudan and South Sudan, two countries that have had more than their fair share of violence and suffering. At the heart of the AU's engagement is also the conviction that Sudan and South Sudan are neighbors linked by immutable facts of geography and history. There is no viable alternative except for them to establish close and cooperative relations with each other. The Council adopted a roadmap for the resolution of the outstanding issues. In the Security Council and other AU partners readily endorsed the roadmap and of course, we know that on the 27th of September, President Vaki, under the facilitation of the high-level panel, signed a series of agreements on the post-accession relations. This marked a watershed in the relations between the two countries. It is only fitting, therefore, that on behalf of all of us, I congratulate the two countries and their leaders for what they have achieved under very challenging circumstances. And as we congratulate them, we must also keep in mind the roadmap ahead. On the one hand, we are faced with the challenges of ensuring the effective implementation of what has been agreed upon. For certain, the beginning has been encouraging. Both countries have expeditiously moved to ratify the agreements they've signed, and we are taking steps towards their implementation. We encourage them to stay the course, as progress in the implementation phase will also create the necessary confidence for addressing the remaining issues. I assure them that the AU will stand by them shoulder to shoulder in this process. On the other hand, there remain three critical outstanding matters relating to the determination of the final status of RPA, the resolution of status of the disputed and claimed border areas, and the resolution of conflict in the Southern Kordofan and the Blue Nile states of Sudan. The establishment of sustainable and cooperative relations between Sudan and South Sudan require the final delineation of their common border, a decision on the future status of RPA areas, as well as the peaceful resolution of internal conflicts within each state. And as we look at Sudan and South Sudan, we can't help but pay tribute to the three outstanding sons of our continent who have tirelessly, almost permanently resided in Sudan, trying to assist Sudan and South Sudan to reach their agreements. And to the three of them, President Thabo Mbeki, President Abubakar, and President Pierre Buyoyo, we can only say we owe you a great debt of gratitude. But we wish you all the best as well in resolving the remaining issues. And we have no doubt that with all your determination and commitment and your experience, you will do so. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, second on our agenda is the situation in Mali. The facts are well known. The overlapping crisis in Mali constitutes a serious threat to some of the core principles of the AU, particularly the principles of respecting national unity and territorial integrity of member states, the rejection of terrorism and transnational crimes. There are principles that are of vital importance for the maintenance of peace, security, and stability on the continent, as well as for its development. Attempts to undermine them have far-reaching consequences and as such constitute a threat to international peace and security. Thanks to the determination of ECOWAS, with the support of the AU and the rest of the international community, significant progress has been made towards resolving the institutional crisis. We welcome the formation of the Government of National Unity last August. Indeed, it is critical at a time when the very survival of the nation is at stake to ensure that Malians close rank and focus their energies on the fundamental challenges confronting them. So we encourage all of them to consolidate the progress achieved and to draw the roadmap and make sure that the transitional measures are in place and everything that needs to be done is done. At the same time, Malians and the international community alike need to redouble efforts to address the prevailing situation in the north. The latter presents a threat not only to Mali and not only to the region, but to the continent and the international community. It was in this context that the Support and Follow-up Group held a high-level meeting in Bamako on the 19th October 2012 to interact with the Malian authorities on the way forward, as well as to review the draft strategic concept for the resolution of the crisis in Mali, international stakeholders. The Strategic Council articulates in a holistic manner military and other measures that need to be taken to address the challenges at hand. I'm pleased to note that the meeting in Bamako welcomed the draft concept. It is my hope, therefore, that the Council will seriously consider and endorse the document to enable us the way forward, to forward it to the Security Council to seek support. We are working with the Malian authorities, ECOWAS, the UN, EU, and other partners to finalize the joint planning for the early deployment of an African-led international force to help Mali recover the occupied territories in the north. At the same time, we leave the door of dialogue open to those Malians willing to negotiate on the basis of a clear commitment to the respect of Mali's unity, territorial integrity, and rejection of the link with terrorist and criminal groups. And needs to show utmost solidarity with Mali. We have to provide this country with whatever means at our disposal to help it restore in earnest state authority over the northern part of its country, to consolidate Malian leadership and ownership of the ongoing efforts. In conclusion, allow me to express my appreciation also to President Yai Boni, the chair of our union, the leaders of ECOWAS, notably President Alassane Ouattara, Blaise Compaoré, and President Goodluck Jonathan, and the ECOWAS Commission President Kadri Ouedraogo, for their unshakable commitment to the cause of peace, security, and stability in Mali and in the region as a whole. I would also like to pay tribute to the core countries of Algeria, Mauritania, Niger, for standing with Mali in these trying moments and their efforts in countering terrorism and criminal networks in the Sahel. I thank our partners, in particular the United Nations, which through the adoption of Resolution 2056 and 2071 has shown true partnership and leadership in rallying international support to African-led efforts. And of course, to our brothers and sisters in Mali, I would like once again to assure them of our solidarity and that we will spare no effort to accompany them as they go through these trying times. We will also work hand in hand with those concerned to address the long-term challenges facing the Sahel region. In this respect, the AU is taking steps to open an office in Bamako and to strengthen presence elsewhere in the region, and will also be appointing a high representative to Mali. I would be remiss of me if I do not pay tribute to the many partners, both bilateral, multilateral, who are with us today and who have been with us over time. We fully appreciate your invaluable support to our peace efforts in Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, Mali and the Sahel, and in many other places, to list but a few. You are standing by us. I have no doubt that we can contribute and continue to rely on your support to contribute to an Africa that is free of conflicts and that is concerned with development and prosperity of its people. I thank you.